Amazing. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you for having me.
so happy that you're here. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction for anyone who is listening or watching wherever you are in the world. I have with me today Tamara Jarrett. I am thrilled that you are here. Tamara and I have been friends. We've been in each other's network for, I think,
5 years?
more than that. More than that, like over 10 years, because you were the first coach that I ever shadowed.
Oh my God, I keep forgetting about the shadowing part.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I know, so long ago. So I would have been like maybe 17, 18, I don't really remember.
Through your mother.
Through my mom. My
The
mom, if you're listening, Mom, thank you. You have connected people in so many ways that you probably don't even know, but my mom connected us. But to give you more of an intro, so Tamara, she is Calgary-based. She is a certified strength and conditioning specialist. She has a master's degree in strength and conditioning from St. Mary's University and a bachelor's in exercise and health physiology from the University of Calgary. She is also a registered kinesiologist. This woman has a lot of knowledge. As a former varsity athlete and a 5-year captain of the University of Calgary women's basketball team, Tamara has a deep understanding of high performance training. She knows, she's done it. She has worked with athletes of all ages, from youth teams to weekend warriors, and she specializes now in rehabilitation, injury prevention, and movement education. She is also, if that's, not enough already, she is the co-founder of Elements Athletics.
Yeah.
A newly created, to help referees feel safer on the court. Her holistic approach, it really empowers clients to move better, feel stronger, and build sustainable habits that last a lifetime. Tamara, like I already said, she's a close part of my network. She is a previous client too. We've worked together on a different level. She's a mother and an absolute boss businesswoman. Thank you, Tamara, for being here.
It's crazy when you read all out like that. I'm like, oh, dang. Okay.
You're like, that's me.
Who are you talking about?
I know.
Yeah.
It's weird to hear, hey, like when you get a proper intro.
Yeah, it's really weird.
But
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. It's very inspiring, everything that you have done and like the education you have and then put into action in business and coaching people. Like I said, you've been a mentor to me. And today's conversation, I really want it to flow naturally because, I mean, those who listen, they know that I'm just like a little freaking birdie who kind of like
It's why we vibe. It's why we vibe.
We're just like, we're gonna see where it goes. But I do have some questions to help us stay on topic and hopefully give the audience something that they're like, ooh, that's like a juicy little tidbit. So where I want to start is a little bit about your personal journey and like some of your philosophies that you have built and gained through your personal journey. So you played basketball at the University of Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
Those listening, if you're local, we live in Calgary, that's where we are. But there are people listening all over the world, which is also really cool. And from being an athlete there, you have kind of pivoted to now specialize in movement education.
Yeah.
How has that background, being an athlete, influenced your approach now to coaching and rehab?
Yeah. Well, like sports, anyone that knows me, sports play the largest role. I'm almost like, I'm a bias. Obviously, I'm a little biased because you can probably gain a lot of the experiences in other things, but I'm an athlete. So like growing up, sports were always huge in my household. But the biggest thing I gained, especially going to college, playing sports, especially being able to play at the highest level, university level, very much was time management, but also like a lot of independent skills that I know you can learn other places, but it's just so much easier to learn during, at least for me, it happened during my sporting career. But honestly, it was my biggest learning was when you have a goal, like obviously every year our goal was to go to nationals. Like you can really break that back down into the micro steps as, okay, what does day one look like? And so that's kind of the beginning process of how I try to approach with my young athletes. My most favorite group of athletes to work with are like 8-year-olds, 8 to 12-year-olds. I love my older athletes too, but like, the 8 to 12-year-olds, they have no habits, they have nothing, they have no bad habits. They're just learning. So like being able to take an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old and help them see, okay, do you want to play at the next level? Whether they do or not.
Mm-hmm.
But like whatever greatness means to them, I want to help build like those little foundational blocks that I personally learned through my sporting career.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, yeah. Hopefully
one of the biggest,
thing was like how to break down and like little mini goals. And
I love that. And you're such a coach, because anyone who's not really a coach, they go to the end, right? Like they're like, that's the goal. How do I get there? It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And then people give up.
Yeah.
And so being able to help, not only like athletes, but people whose minds, their little walking unconscious minds, they're 8 years old.
No, I know.
Help them learn that. That's incredible.
Yeah. And like and again, it's funny you said something, because like my favorite, outside of my young athletes, also my favorite clients to work with, and I just had a lady today, it's people who literally feel like they want to be active, but they literally don't know where to start. Like, It's funny. They're like, oh my God, you're so motivating. I'm like, I'm not even trying. I'm literally just breaking it down. Like, it starts as simple as this. And I think people, like you said, people jump so far to the, like forward, they get stuck in this like process. And I'm like, for better or for worse, you know me, I don't really think about like, yes, I know there's stuff in the future, but I kind of just start to do, because like that's what I know, and that's the action. So I'm really good at helping people just starting to
do it. Yeah, like you're so action oriented.
Yeah.
And I've seen that in you from the beginning. And we had a conversation like a couple weeks ago where I'm like, like you're empowering me so hard right now. And so I like that. And so you work with, you said 8-year-olds
and all
plus, like all ages kind of right now. You said your favorite thing though is like when you're working with those younger athletes, helping them move step by step into, whatever it is that they're looking to achieve. And I like what you said is like, whether they want to or not, like it's kind of given that option. And this might be kind of a tangent, but I know that a lot of kids, like they get into sports and it's like hardcore drilled sport specialization from a young age. I would love to hear just your perspective or opinion on that. When kids are, they're so young, they don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts?
So that's like the industrial complex of like of youth sports, essentially. Like, and I have it's hard. I'm not against it, I'm not for it. I understand that, especially where we are now and how youth sports has become so commercialized and so like monetized, it does need to start young, only because it's like, what's that, the 10,000 hour rule? It's like, if you want to get better at something, it's not just, obviously it's not general 10,000 hours, it has to be focused 10,000 hours, but like, or whatever, a couple thousand hours to get better at your sport. But what that has caused is, yes, we have great athletes, we have people, it's caused sport become more athletic. Like you see most athletes, like they're athletes, like, oh my gosh, it's not just like, it's entertaining, it's fun to watch, like, because they're starting so young, it's like things become so second nature. But then on the other hand, what has caused this early specialization is kids are really only, like, say, let's use hockey. By 9, 10, they're already getting like developed. Like I had an 8-year-old, 9-year-old who's already identified. So he's already in the stream. So he's playing hockey a lot.
Yeah.
Those are very similar movement patterns. So like some kids just move better. Some kids have good genetics. But a lot of people, they do need to be taught how to move and even if they do have move well, if you're only moving and doing certain things in your sport, certain movements in your sport all the time, you're not getting exposure to other things. That's why, like, if you look at all the great athletes, like now I'm gonna say my generation, like older, they all were multi-sport athletes literally up until they specialized at like 15, 16. So you are seeing a lot of injuries sooner. especially in like female athletes, like 12, 13, like you see girls with ACL injuries, like knee injuries. And it's like, okay, they've been playing their sport for 5, 6 years. That's crazy. But also because they're still developing their bodies, but they're only moving in one or certain
repetitive.
The same movements. Shocking. People don't realize this, but like they think, oh, I don't want to weight train too early, blah, blah. But think about weight training as like a cross training to help basically help build robust athletes, because they are having to specialize, but they need to learn, they need to get stronger all around in their general in their body overall, because they're in these same movement patterns that they have to learn how to strengthen. But when kids run and jump, there is 5, 6 times their body weight going through their joints. Running and jumping in their sport that they're currently doing, they've been doing for 5, 6 years, depending on how old they are. Like if they're eight, they could be doing their sport for 3, 4 years. Already. They are running and jumping. There's 4 to 5, 3, like more than 3 times their body weight going through their joints.
Yeah.
So I can't even put load, like as an adult, I'm not lifting 3 times my body weight. So the idea is, if these kids aren't learning how to control their joints and their bodies well, what do you think's going to happen repetitively as they just continue their sport more and more?
They're just more prone to injury. And that makes me think a little bit about the rehab piece. And like, even just you speaking, I'm like, this is why you specialize in rehabilitation, because you're aware of this stuff, which I bet if there's any parents even listening, or maybe older adults who like started sport at a very young age, they're like, oh my God, that makes sense. Yeah. So it sounds like you don't work with specialized.
So I do and I don't, but only because I do work with a lot of young kids. They happen to, they might, like I have a handful of kids who have been identified, but luckily they actually they might play a summer sport. But I do have a kid who's now turning 13. He had to drop his second sport and just do hockey because he's at that level. But so you're right. I do a lot of my because I do work with younger athletes. They haven't quite specialized, but if they are on this competitive stream, pretty quickly they will be. Yeah. And so the conversation with the parents is around why it's important, even during season, even if it's once a week, to continue working on movement pattern, coordination stuff, because they're not getting that when they're playing their sport.
So it's almost like you have this preventative piece and rehabilitation piece that you incorporate with both of them. Yeah. You are smart, girl. Oh gosh. You are so smart. Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Like one of your philosophies, which I found because I researched you, even though I know you, I wanted to, get all this stuff on paper. One of them is that you strongly believe that everyone is an athlete. Oh. And that we don't have to get old as we age. How do you integrate this philosophy into your training programs for clients of all ages?
Yeah. So that conversation I basically had in regard to movement patterns and like making sure we're the things that we do consistently, we have to make sure that we are strengthening our weaker areas. That's the same conversation I have with my 70-year-old, my 65-year-old who's like, I just want to keep up with my grandchild. I'm like, great. So my approach, I tell them, I'm like, I'm going to approach you like the way I'm going to say so like me, my team, we have a movement pattern that we're like, okay, we're going to look at you and we're trying to improve your posture change. Basically your posture muscles, because that's what everything comes down to is everyone talks about posture, whether it's posture in sport, whether it's just posture in your everyday life. Okay, so I don't ever need my 70-year-old to jump, but I want them to move and lift as if they could jump if they needed to. That's just because that's the coordination that we're trying to teach. So that's kind of what I mean by, I don't care what kind of athlete. Everyone's an athlete because that's the way we approach everybody, because you want to, for my 75-year-old, the goal is for them to stay at home as long as they can, independent. As soon as they lose the ability to get up and off of their toilet seat, which is a squat, it's 1 foot in the nursing home or whatever, which is one step away from losing their independence.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take you and train you like the philosophy of my athlete. I'm like, okay, we're trying to get your posture chain, your coordination improved, which is the same approach I take with my athletes. So that's kind of what.
Oh yeah, that makes total sense. I love how you've explained it, because I saw that like get old, and I thought like, okay, age, and you know me, I'm like the mindset girl.
Yeah.
So I think of our age as something that people, so many of us, they tie something to, like, oh, I'm getting older, so that naturally means I'm gonna get, you know, bad knees and a bad lower back, and like, oh, I should probably slow down. And that's what I thought of when I heard like get older. And I like your approach to it, where you're like, you're an athlete no matter what age. And that doesn't mean that, you know, you're gonna go out and do high jump and long jump. You could.
Hey.
You could if you want to, but also just like the simple stuff, which majority of people struggle with, is like getting up off the toilet and going into the kitchen and like reaching for something and picking up something heavy.
Doing this, doing our hair. Like as soon as like the ability to actually like get your hands behind your head, back.
Yeah.
That's like,
That's like, I don't know. I think it's so impactful. And I've been having this conversation a lot lately, just with like friends and stuff, about age and how so many people, I don't know what it is in like the late 20s. Like I'm 27 right now. And
just a baby.
Like, I know. And that's what I think. I'm like literally a child. And I have friends who are like, oh, and I'm like, I don't want to hear you grunt. Like, no more grunting. That's a mindset. Enough of that.
Mindset coach, love it. No, of course.
Yeah, no, I can see too how kind of my next question, it's like, how does rehabilitation and sports and athletics help with, and maybe this will go somewhere else, but like help with people who are recovering from injuries and surgeries? Because you said like a lot of the kids, like 12, 13 years old, they're already tearing their MCL, ACL. So how does, say you have a client who comes in and that's what they're struggling with, more so the question would be, how would you approach that?
Yeah. So when it comes to rehab, a lot of people, it's what I love when I get a rehab client. It's different than, say, like, I don't know, maybe the physios, because when people come to see me, they've already, like, they are motivated. So I don't really have to, you know how I feel about the word motivation, but like they already, like, they want to do something. But honestly, a lot of the approach first comes down to like fact of, depending on what the injury is, let's say it's a knee, it's reframing it and so people understand that like pain is okay. It's understanding what is good and bad pain. Because what I've realized, and this is a lot, depending on what sport you played, and if you played sports, I've realized people have, like, obviously people have varying pain tolerances, and some people literally don't know. Like, you've had a muscle cramp before.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know, would you describe it as painful?
No, it's like uncomfortable.
Yeah. So like, but someone who's like, and I think a lot of us who's played sports probably had a cramp or something in that sense before. I think a lot of people who maybe never done that, like they don't understand. Like, so when they get a cramp, they think, oh my gosh, I'm injured. So, and that's kind of, the cramp is the best way to explain from an injury perspective, what kind of muscle activation we might start to be getting when we start to reactivate things. It's a cramping. And I always start with my clients and saying, rehab. Sharp stabbing shooting pain, no bueno. We don't want that. But aching, cramping, like those are the uncomfortable pains. That's okay, because that's just the muscle trying.
It's like waking up.
It's waking up again. Exactly.
Yeah.
So like, it's helping people understand that, because a lot of people, they're like, you know, they get injured and like, any little thing. So
they feel something,
and then no. So that's where I start with people, and that's kind of what I say, like that athlete, helping people understand that. At least that's what I developed. I kind of learned that what I teach my younger kids is actually teaching them what they're feeling in their body, so they start to understand, okay, this is okay pain, this is bad.
Yeah.
Before they get injured, so they can start to develop that.
That is so, I mean, maybe just for me right now, but like so impactful. And I'm realizing how myself, as someone who considered herself an athlete for a little while, now I don't know if I'd say I'm like an athlete. Like I'm not training towards something specifically. But when I was younger, I played sports, but I never was like deep in sports. And I'll tell you kind of where I'm going with this. I was never deep in sports in the way where I had sport coaches coming to me and like having that conversation about the body. I never got into like high level sports or anything. So I never really understood how to tune into my body. I've been up here. I'm the mindset girl. I've had to learn how to feel, really.
Yeah.
And where I'm going with this is now, fast forward, I have a torn MCL. I learned about this, I think it was like 5 years now. Like I got the whole checkup done and whatever. And I'm like, wow, okay. So whenever I do a lunge and I have my left leg back and it's like burning pain, that's not normal. Like that's me. I should probably like stop. But I learned mindset before anything. I didn't learn the body stuff.
Yep.
That I would just keep pushing past it. I was like, oh, it's just pain, no pain, no gain.
Pain, no gain. Oh.
Right? Like you hear that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious
yes.
if someone like me came to you
Yep.
and they were more of that, like, you know, it's like mindset, like it's fine. And it could go either way. It could be like, it's fine, or it's like, no, it's not fine.
Yep.
How would you approach that?
Yeah, that's a very good point. So like something, I'm just going to go use your specific example, like something like a lunge. So like that deep burning, that's not a good thing, but I would come and approach you and explain to you, okay, there are some basic things that we need to try to like get and feel, but we stay away from the burning feeling. I'd try to break down the movement in a more simple way. Like there's a lot of single leg things that we can do. That's not a lunge that we would approach, but I would try to, and it's hard. If you told me, hopefully I would have known that you told me that you, in this case, your mindset is no pain, right? Hopefully I would have gotten that information already. And I would have basically, I would start by saying, okay, we're going to have to try and rein you back and pull you back. And I actually don't want you to, next day, I actually don't want there to be a feeling.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to like baby step you in terms of, let's try to get you doing stuff without having a bad reaction, because you're so used to having a reaction. If it was someone on the other end of it, if there was someone that was like, oh my gosh, stay away from all the pain, I'm actually going to approach it literally the opposite way. Like, okay, I actually want you to be a little more pain going on the next day, and just slowly try and like just gain your trust that way, but just try to get you to feel the opposite, but understanding, being able to like link it to, okay, this is either getting me further away or closer away to my closer towards or further away from my goal of trying to rehab. So just trying to link it. It's a really hard question, but like
mind muscle connection, like a different mind muscle connection.
Yeah, just trying to just flip the script on the mind muscle, because for you want to push. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna show you we can get some good activation without actually having this bad feeling. Someone else, I might need to get them. I'm not going to have a bad feeling. Yeah. But I actually want them to get a feel, because they're so used to not wanting to feel.
Because they're avoiding it.
Exactly.
It's this made me just think of something in yoga.
Oh gosh. I don't know.
But the concept is a concept or philosophy of yoga. It's called tapas, and it's internal heat. And the internal heat, for one, might be different for another. For me, my internal heat, what I need to lean into that resistance is getting away from pain. Where someone else, it would be leaning into the pain. And like type of yoga, and I know it's like we're not talking about yoga, but similar philosophies is like, if you're someone who is always go, doing, try a yin class, try something slow, try to connect to your breath, like restorative. If you're someone who's like super yin all the time, you're chilling, you're like probably a little bit lazy in your days, go do a vinyasa, do a hot flow, do something like hatha. Like that's the tapas. So I get it. Similar philosophy. Yeah. But
and she's told me to go do yoga. No, mindful.
You came to yoga once.
I did. I can say I've done it a couple times. I have taken your advice. Y'all, she's told me maybe you should try meditating. Like, literally. So I'm like, okay.
Did I say it?
Not like that way. That was just what I heard.
Yeah.
Whether you said it, I don't think that's not what you like say, but like.
Everyone ever who has entered my circle, I've probably said that too. Because I'm like, oh, you feel stressed? Have you ever tried like breathing?
That's probably exactly what you said, to be honest.
Have you ever tried this thing that's like in your body all the time?
Yeah.
Like in through the nose, out through the mouth. Anyways, yeah. No, I really like that philosophy. And I think it's also very inspiring and like fascinating that you have what seems like it's like no limits. It's like someone comes in and they're like, yo, I've got this broken, this. You're like, okay, solution mode. How can we help this?
Give me the complicated.
Yeah.
But I love the complicated. I think the best way for people to even like, if they want to learn about like my approach to like how we do rehab, it's like, you just have to come watch, because I literally can't tell you, like, it's great. Like what I've loved from school, I've learned a ton of philosophy.
Yeah.
That means nothing in practice if you can't then like be like valuable and connect with people. And half the time it's about connecting and getting people just to trust you, and like you just have to see how it's done. And that's kind of
no, I get that. I totally get that. When I first started coaching, because I coach mainly online, but I have done some in-person stuff too. It's like actually 99% of people have an injury.
Literally.
Most people actually are not perfectly fine. Like, oh, humans aren't perfect. Wow, did we just discover that? Like, no, most people, they're dealing with some sort of imbalance or something. And there's no like program or course or thing you can do that's going to teach you how to deal with that until you're dealing with it.
Yeah.
It's same in, again, I'll go back to yoga, like in a yoga class, someone's not able to do the posture I'm cueing. Oh, I'm going to figure out right now what
to give them
modification to offer them. So yeah, I think like that mindset too from you as a coach, but also business owner, like they kind of like flow hand in hand together, because you're resourceful. Like you're always figuring out, okay, what can I do? What can I do? I want to pivot now on that note to more business, and we'll still tie in like a little bit of that like coaching and like wellness and holistic, because I don't know about you, but I think when you work in wellness, like your whole life is your work and your work is your life. Like it's
truly,
it's the same thing. But what really inspired you? Like back to, yes, you were an athlete, you work with all these people, but what inspired you to start Tamara J Training? And what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced establishing your business?
Yeah. So it's not going to sound pretty. It's not going to be pretty, because I can't even tell you I was inspired, or I don't know what the word inspired even means from my perspective. It was the fact of I did not want to work at a box gym for pennies. I think and it was more of like, okay, I want to say I fell into, I always was a contractor. Okay, so like that's, as soon as I graduated school, I knew, I'm like, oh, you can actually, my strength conditioning coach who kind of got me into this realm, Rich Hesketh, I saw like, okay, you can actually have a career as a quote unquote strength conditioning coach. I'm not just a quote unquote personal trainer. Okay, great. So I knew that was possible. I didn't know how that would look for me, but what I recognized was that it wasn't going to be in a box gym, because it seemed like, okay, I'm not sure, pennies for whatever, like, so I think that initially was like, okay, I had to go find somewhere where I could be a contractor. So that's kind of where, and then luckily, because my best friend, we got into where, started in the athlete realm, strength conditioning with Athlete Factory. And that's where I started learning and just contracting and learning. And it was slave labor. So let me tell you, like, we were working 12-hour days, and like, we got paid. I swear on my life, there'd be days where I would probably only have 1 or 2 coaching sessions. And I was probably paid $25 for that, but I was there all day.
Oh my goodness.
So like, but
first you were like, I don't want to work in these box gyms for pennies.
Correct.
But then you were working for pennies.
And let me explain to you exactly for pennies. this is where I realized it was the inspiration, it was the learning, because it was the environment that kept us, because I learned so much so fast. I literally saw hundreds. We had at one point 500 athletes. Wow. So I saw hundreds of athlete bodies moving and coaching. And then like, I started to learn and understand like kind of the entrepreneurial, like how to build a business. So it was because of that place that I actually learned how to build a business. So very quickly I became like, within a year or 2 years, I actually started, but I just knew it's weird. I feel like exactly what you said, like I was working for pennies. I didn't want to work for pennies, but I ended up working for pennies. Yeah. But it's because I saw the bigger picture, and then there was a learning aspect, a collective learning aspect that really kept you and drew me in.
I feel like I've heard this because I'm such a personal development junkie, and I've heard this in podcasts and from mentors that, you can either go and get a job and get paid and like learn from that job, or you can find mentorship somewhere and learn from that mentorship, paid to do it. You'll still get paid like a little bit, but like there's different paths. There's different avenues for anything. And I mean, I've taken very similar avenues with you where I just like, I go and I do things for cheap or for free. And like, I'm like, hey, how can I like help you out just to learn? So
that's the approach. What you literally just said is it like, and I think that's when you say like what made me start strategy training. It honestly, if you would have asked me 10 years ago, oh, I could actually make a career of like full-time like training, I would have been like, what are you talking? Like, I wouldn't have thought about that. But it was just about how can I help people? Like, how can I help? Like, what can I do? Like, honestly, that was my driving factor to wanting to like kind of build, I guess, smarter training, is because once I realized, okay, my company, it was kind of the place I was a contractor, but I'm like, I think I could do more and I want to do more. And I'm like, I have like this great clientele. Like, okay, let's go out on my own. I think I can do it on my own. And like, when I say on my own, I had like friends help me, whatever the case be, went with my friends. But yeah, like it's very much approach of all my clients knew I genuinely wanted to help them, like no matter what. And so I think if you have that mindset, that's what helped me quote unquote build.
Yeah. Cause you're leading with love.
Yeah.
And like, I think that word purpose comes up a lot too in entrepreneurship and like anyone new stepping into it. It's like, okay, what is your bigger purpose? And if your purpose is like clear intention that you truly just want to help people, the universe will repay you. It will come back around.
Totally.
And of course, like, doesn't make it any less hard. Like it's still a grind and it's still a challenge. So I want to know, I mean, how long has it been since you started?
2014 is when so
like
now
11 years.
Yeah, there we go.
Thanks 12. Yeah. What has been, try to think of like one, maybe a couple of like the hardest times where maybe you've been like, I want to throw in the towel. Like, fuck this. Why entrepreneurship? Because I know I have had that in my own experience multiple times.
Yeah.
What are those challenges like? How have you gotten over them?
Yeah. So there's two. One of them literally happened yesterday. So I can speak to that last. The first time.
So recent.
The first time, it would have been right when I had transitioned out, left at the factory, and then like kind of went out on my own. And like, I'm like, oh, okay, so I have to figure out my own billing. I have to figure out my own, like, okay, yes, I stole some of that from like the company, like, in terms of the systems, but I still had to come up with it. And I was like, oh, so it's literally me sink or swim. Like it's sink or swim. And this is where it's gonna sound so stupid. Maybe it doesn't sound stupid. It's really the people you have around you. Like, if it wasn't for like my best friends who were also, it happened to be in the same industry as me, but also then like I was lucky, my mother, like she's an ex-CRA auditor, like so she was like able to like help me with my books and all that. But like I'm the first person to say I don't know that. Like I know what I know. I'm gonna find someone that can help me with someone else, like help me with the other things. I outsource, you know that, right? That's why that's right. So like it was being okay to the first challenge of like, oh my God, like I don't know what to do here. It's finding and asking people who I respected. You're your mother was one of
Yeah.
them. And like, how do I do this? And like, just letting them lead me and not trying to act like, because I didn't have the answers and I wasn't trying to act like I had the answers. So that was like, I guess that was the first big challenge, if that makes sense. Because and they helped, the people around me really helped me set up the system of my
I love that.
business. Does that make sense?
People need people. And I feel like I can relate to that so much. Because I remember my first challenge being very similar, where I was like, whoa, I am the marketer and I'm the salesperson and I'm the bookkeeper. And I'm like, you play literally all of the roles when you start your business. And it's so overwhelming because like we don't know how to do that stuff. So you can either learn how to do it or you can find your people. And I know for me, I was stubborn as hell, so I didn't find people. I was like, let me just do it all on my own and like learn things.
Learning in itself.
Yes, it is learning. But then, of course, you get to the point where you're like, no, this is like causing burnout and way too much. And being able to ask for help, I think is one of the wisest things that you can do. And you can probably speak to helped you grow even more because you had the space to do what were you actually wanting to do? Coach.
Exactly. I was literally saying, like, did you want to go into, like, the biggest thing when people say I want to go into business for myself, I'm like, first of all, you have to be okay with like doing the things that you just know you're not going to be for the good in the beginning. You're not going to be doing majority of the things you love doing. You're not probably going to be doing that for a bit.
Yeah.
But like, find a way to like outsource it, like trust. Yeah. I'm almost trusting to a fault a little bit. So I'm like, luckily it hasn't come to burn me yet.
Yeah.
But like,
I think trust is like a beautiful characteristic. And I mean, don't even say yet. Use yet in different ways. Because I think your trust, the trust that you have, it's amazing. And it just shows too through the success that you've built in your business. And now, I mean, second business.
Yes.
Which
leads to the second latest
freak-out. Tell us about the second latest freak out, and then we can talk about Elements Athletics. Because I think it's pretty cool.
So this latest freak out literally happened yesterday. And this is where you need to have good, like, when you have friends, like the second part, let's skip to the end. Having people you can just vent to, and like also that they just give you great advice, will listen to you, but just have great advice is also the next part of how you run a business without going crazy. So basically, I'm a mother, 2 businesses. We'll talk about the other one later, but I can't call it burnout because I'm not feeling burnt out, but like I was dropping balls, and I completely missed a client that I had. And I didn't even know I missed the client. Okay. Yeah. And I'm the type of person that like, if I'm running 10 minutes late, like before I'm late, I'm telling you I'm running late. So like meltdown. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, how did I do that? But that's because I was like, my daughter, she's 10 months old. I'm trying to get her in daycare. So like I was hoping I didn't realize people signed up for daycares before the child was born.
Oh damn.
Didn't realize this. So like I'm like, she's 4 months old, trying to register. So like that started, and then I'm like, okay, getting close to September, I'm realizing, oh, like I need to be back in the business a bit. But what do I do with my child? So like trying to get her in daycare. So it was all this ramp up of like, I finally found one, but like she's not till October. So it's like, okay, what is my September going to look like? September's busy for like our types of business, right? I have this other business that like things are they're going great, but it's like also needs to ramp up in September. My mom's about to go into surgery. So like she can't help me as much as she can like in September. So it's like, and my mother-in-law is not living with us until October. So it's like that all. And then I missed the client.
Many bits and pieces.
I missed the client. And so then it was a meltdown yesterday.
I am sorry that you went through that.
You know what? But guess what? I called my best friend.
Yeah.
And then Rashina Fogo, she's the best. Literally, this is where the second part of how to do this entrepreneurial thing is have people you can, in your network, who know you and can just breathe life back into you.
Totally.
That's what she did.
Yeah. Because in your mind, I'm sure it was it's a catastrophe.
Girl.
And more.
I missed a client that I didn't even know I missed a client. Kelsey.
Yeah. No, that's big. That is big. And was this a long-term client?
No, it was a one-off because I have a partnership with a physio clinic. So
Okay.
it's like it's one of those things that, and like I guess they had I didn't email, like you should have got notifications. So
Yeah.
it was one of those things where because everything's there's so much going on, I wasn't doing the things like I should have checked my booking thing, but like I usually get notified. I didn't get notified. So like it was all these things that I was skipping because of the panic in my life where I'm like, she just helped me recenter. I'm like, hey, this is what we're gotta do, this.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything's okay.
Yeah.
The clinic is fine. I'm seeing another client today, this on Friday with the clinic, but like they were just concerned about me.
Yeah.
And said, where'd you go? Because I normally, if I'm 5 minutes late, I literally let them know.
Well, that's where my mind goes right away. I'm like, this is not a you characteristic trait issue. This is a holy shit, there's way too much going on in your life right now. And oops.
Yeah.
It was an oops. And like even how you react to it, like today, like I'm sure yesterday it was like, but it just shows that you are such an incredible coach and businesswoman because this never happens in 11 or 12 years.
And I just
it happened yesterday.
It happened yesterday. It was crazy. But like it was one of those things I realized, mothers out there, and this is where, as a new mother, my biggest realization is I was going off my old self, how my old self used to go. I was so, my memory, like I can remember things. Girl, like I literally couldn't even remember, like I would look at my calendar, I'm like, oh, okay, I need to go tell this person this about the schedule. And I would forget to do that if I didn't do it right in the moment. Because my old self, I could let it go and oh yeah, remember.
Yeah.
I have to recognize my new self. Yeah. It needs to get done at that instant. So I need to make sure when I'm actually looking at my calendar that I actually, or whatever I'm doing, I action it then, or else I have to know it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Then that's not how it used to be. So that's where my friend helped me realize, like, my mother's like, girl, as a mom, she's like, you're like, be kind on yourself, but also like, I had to have that moment, you know, where I'm like, I'm okay with my new self. I'd be okay.
Totally. That's a really big transition too, which I mean, we can even talk more about that too, is becoming a mother. You have a whole nother being now. So I don't know if you guys missed the intro, but she's this, that, the other, like she's got 2 businesses and a baby and a husband. Yeah. Like there's a lot going on. So I agree with your mom. Be kind to yourself. And also that identity shift is almost like what we talked about a little bit, like at the beginning of like specialization in something. You become so much of one thing. And I think it's just human to get attached to that one thing. The way you're used to. And that identity that we are. And I know like in behavior change, working with clients on their mindset and on their health, it's so much of just that is like, okay, who is this new identity that you have the choice to become. You chose to have a baby and accepting that and then like implementing what that lifestyle looks like and those changes. So I'm proud of you for like acknowledging and recognizing that yesterday. And I also know how hard it is because it's change of like identity.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
So
that was it.
Great share. Great share. Let's talk about, I mean, you got all that going on, but let's talk about the second business. Because I mean, she decided amongst all of the things, I'm going to start another one. Yes. So what is Elements Athletics?
Yeah. So Elements Athletics, we are a software sport tech company. And we essentially, our first product, our main product, we are here for referees, built to like empower the game, essentially. So what does that even mean? We are trying, and again, this is why it's, back up a little bit. My partner, fellow co-founder, asked me when I was 6 months pregnant if I wanted to found a company with him. And I said, hell yes. And the reason why is because it fell right into my philosophy of our ultimate goal at Elements Athletics is to improve the culture around youth sports. So me, strength and conditioning coach, boop, 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 like the idea of that I am, first of all, getting to impact my athletes physically, the individual, but then I potentially also then could have an impact on the game overall. I'm like, duh, it's the same, one and the same. So that's where that came from. So Elements Athletics, that's our philosophies, improving the culture around youth sports. But we're starting with the referees. Why the referees? Mic'd Up is our flagship product because there's a referee shortage across all sports. And why is that important, you say? Like, who cares? Well, if we haven't talked about it, youth sports are getting more and more commercialized, and like, if there aren't refs, games aren't played.
Yeah.
In Calgary, for example, I currently referee basketball. I referee youth basketball at the university level here, and I also do obviously all levels, junior high, high school. In our association, we actually had to ask the Calgary board, to basically the Calgary school board and the Catholic school board, we asked them to change their basketball seasons.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't, because they used to all overlap. In January and February, it used to be Calgary basketball, the public school board, Catholic school board, our high school seasons were going on, the college season was going on. Everything was happening in those 2 months. We did not have enough referees to cover
because of
games.
The shortage of refs.
Okay. Not a lot of refs. Yeah. And then, so that was one thing. And then that's just this example. I can't remember, we've been talking, there's, now I'm going to mess up I think it was, is it Toronto? Oh gosh, I can't remember what province. We talked to so many people, but there's a province that I think 66, it was soccer, 66% of their games had one referee or no referees.
How do you do a game without a referee?
That's
like rec. Even rec should have a referee.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you're like, so what's the point? The point is, most youth sport and most of these games aren't like high school or even upper level junior high. It's like U11 and like U12, young, like those young games aren't having refs, aren't able to, because most of those referees at that level are 13, 14, 15, 16. The amount of vitriol some of these refs are getting, and they're just starting, the criticism that they're getting, okay, great, they're not good. Yeah. When have you ever been good at something the first time you've done it?
Yeah.
Right? And who are you, Mr. Joe Blow, to give feedback? We don't need your feedback.
Yeah.
But what you don't realize is that there's a great system in place that our associations have for educating young refs, but you have to give them time.
Yeah.
So
it takes time for anything. So Mic'd Up is essentially giving referees microphones.
Microphones, yeah.
So,
and then our system and then they record their game. So they're wearing microphones, they record the game, they upload their audio to our system, and then that system analyzes it and automates a report to their administrator to basically, and it flags for any instances of abuse or, basically, when I say abuse, I hate the word abuse, like any instances of disrespect or like situations that they like, these go against our policies and we need to follow up on, because not saying that the young ref wouldn't do it, but most people don't like writing reports. Yeah. So, and also then they do write a report, but then, buddy says he didn't say it. Yeah. But guess what? We record of truth. Yeah. So that's our flagship product. Now. So we're just trying to hold people accountable.
Yeah. Which is incredible. I think that's I remember when you told me about this, I was like, this is so different and like so out of realm for me. Like, I'm not in sports and athletics. Like I don't really see that stuff, but sports and athletics, it's something that builds community for kids from the beginning of time. And if we're running out of referees because they're quitting, because they're being verbally abused or just like not feeling like they're enough from such a young age, that will ripple and domino into so many other issues, which, God, we could even talk about AI and the fact that like the whole world is addicted to devices and not even using their brains, but we don't need to go there today. But I think this is extremely important and it's going to be very impactful. If there's anything, I mean, for someone who might be listening that they can support support, because this is spreading the message a little bit more,
Yeah.
but maybe there's someone, if there's someone that you need to get in touch with.
Yeah. We are looking for any stakeholders that, so like associations who are having an issue with discipline, or like they need, say they realize, they know that there's some very negative things that happen in their association in regard to like when it comes to playing the games being played, and they need help enforcing their policies. So in this case, it really is like, if you know a league that has a verbal disrespect situation, we would love to get connected with with anyone that's a stakeholder in that that would be able to, that would want to help clean it up, or help them get a record of truth, so they can actually hold people accountable to the things they say, because people seem to not think they can just say whatever they want.
Yeah.
They want.
Which they can't.
And they shouldn't.
And they shouldn't. No. We need more love in this world, guys. More peace.
Yeah.
And peace on earth starts with peace within. So back to what we said earlier, y'all just need to meditate.
Y'all just need to take a beat. Take a beat. Take a breath.
Take a breath. Take a moment. I think I've used these words already, but like both of your businesses, they're very, very empowering and focused on, impact driven, purpose driven for both athletes, referees, adults, older adults, younger adults. How do you measure success in your businesses?
Great. Well, how do I? Because how do people?
Yeah.
How much money are you making? Blah, blah, blah. So honestly, and this is what really drives me, it's how many people can I impact? So let's go for the strength and conditioning world. It's definitely how many people I can help and service. So that's what success is for me. Like if I leave one person with one tool that they can take away with, if I don't see them again, but they have a tool, that's amazing. So I just want as many people as I can impact and help, whether I work with them monetarily or not. From my Elements athletics business, this is where it's honestly, it's seeing that what success is getting in front of those associations, the administrators who are like, yeah, and like getting validation, like, yes, this is a problem and we want to address it.
Yeah.
Like, so success is, honestly, and it's going to sound so corny, we've already like seen success because we had an idea and a concept like, ooh, is this actually a problem? And without a doubt, any single person who actually has a stake in like a youth sport game, they said, yes, this is a problem. How do we go about, how do we integrate your product? So that in and of itself is a success. We just have to now, like, obviously there's a business side of it, all that stuff, but like, so we've already kind of been successful.
Yeah.
So that's kind of because like we think there's a problem, there is.
Yeah.
So like,
totally.
Does that make sense? Like
Absolutely.
we have a tool that is going to help now potentially solve that problem. People see it as, ooh, that can help it too. So that's kind of what that means.
Totally. And I like what you said, like as you were answering that question where you're like, well, most people would say like financial, like there's this goal. And yes, that's a piece of business. Of course it's a piece, but any entrepreneur that I talk to who I would consider successful being someone who is purpose driven, who shows up every day, who leads with love, they always, without a beat, say anything other than money.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
So your answer to that was spot on. Yeah. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I want to kind of like start to wrap up. Yeah. We're not at the end yet, but like a couple of things, like thinking into the future, looking ahead, because health and fitness and wellness, it's constantly just like evolving, like the world is. Is there any sort of new, call them like trends emerging in strength and conditioning or rehabilitation that you're excited about right now? Things that you see coming about?
Oh. Okay, and this is where it's probably not new, but what I've been super, super excited about in my conversations I've had with practitioners in the rehab space specifically is people really starting to like own the space and not try to do more than what they. Let me just explain it. Having conversations with physios, saying, "Hey, I am not an expert in movement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I give my client exercises, but like I want to find somebody that actually is a specialist in that, and I'm going to do what I want to do." It's like seeing people being okay with like just being great at what they do, for knowing it's in rehab, knowing that that's going to solve, that's a piece of the problem, and then not trying to be the catch-all in rehab.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's new. I think I've been finding people and like talking to people and realizing, oh, okay, like, okay, people are like, it's not just someone people aren't just like, oh, I need to make sure I can do all.
Yeah.
Because if you can do all, you can't do anything really.
Yeah. I always say you can't do it all and you can't do nothing. That mindset of like all or nothing it's a beginner's mindset. And I think because you've been in the space for so long, like you probably see that not only in the mindset, but like out in the field with you have a team of people that you work with. You share the wealth, you share the knowledge, you're like honest of quieting the ego, being like, actually, I can't do that. So I'm going to give this to you. Because at the end of the day, that actually helps people.
Yes. And passing people on. And like the next thing in that is what people don't really realize, and I'm also speaking this into existence. So kinesiology, people are like, what the hell is kinesiology? Mm-hmm. We have an association. We have a governing body. In Ontario, they are regulated. So they are just like massage therapists, physios, chiros.
Yeah.
Okay? So people can essentially use their benefits and like they can get movement specialists.
Yeah.
In Alberta, we are so close to getting that. Like it's been the past 4 years that our association has really been fighting, and like we're working with the government, so like people don't realize that. And even talk to my sister. My sister is a general practitioner.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's amazing, because most people, they just need a little bit. It's not that we understand most people can't afford extra training, all that stuff. But like some people just need a little bit of help, and if it's part of any sort of benefit, so soon, hopefully the next couple of years, kinesiology, everyone can at least get a couple sessions with a kinesiologist, a personal trainer, a strength and conditioning coach who's a kinesiologist registered, just to help them get back.
Yeah.
That's kind of
emerging too. Yeah. And I remember having this conversation with you like over a year ago, actually, at this point, where you were like, kinesiologists need to be on the benefits. Yeah. And it made me think more of coaches too, and like life coaches and mindset coaches being able to provide that service to people, because people
proactive.
Yeah, we don't always need, and I'm not shitting on therapists, but like there's this comparison of like therapists and then life coaches, and how, often therapists will live in the past. Like if we're just talking like mental and mindset, where coaches, they'll help you like step into the future and empower you and like look forward. And so often I've had people, when I was just doing mindset coaching, be like, no, I can't. Like, is it covered by benefits? And I'm like, no, because I'm not a counselor. I'm a coach. I'm a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner.
Yeah.
But that's not covered. So yeah, you're just going to continue to, go do talk therapy and probably not get anywhere.
Or you're fast. Talk about how it's connected to your...
So I love that you touch on that, because I agree. I think kinesiology, it absolutely needs to be up there.
Yeah.
Because people, they need more than, and it's not that the other things are less than, but sometimes they do need that. And it could be one of the most powerful and impactful things. So we hope, put it out to the universe, put it out there. Yeah. So for any aspiring coaches who are listening, or maybe they're like wanting to be a referee or something, give some advice. What advice would you give based off of your experiences?
Well, if you haven't picked it up, be open. Open. Like, yeah. You can have your goals, but like, it's great to have your goal of that future, but like, just be open and be okay with like you don't necessarily know how you're going to get there, but like, just trust if you are open and you're positive about it. And when I say positive, not just about willingly just putting out positive vibes.
Mm-hmm.
You're also like, from a refereeing perspective, you're reading the rule book because you're ready. Like, be ready for the opportunity. So put yourself in a situation, like, from a coaching perspective, like, okay, if you want to do rehab, maybe read up a little bit on a knee injury and a knee surgery. So when a client talks to you about knee surgery, you're like, oh yeah, like, did they do this? Like, you still have to give yourself the tools, but be open to, because people gravitate to people that are positive and open. Nobody wants a negative Nancy. Dark Nancy's. I don't want any Nancy, but you don't
want to hang out with that. Yeah.
So yeah, as any coach that's a great coach, like, energy, like, you have to give it. If you're low energy, I don't know how. That would be see a mindset linguistic specialist, because it really is, because our job, honestly, as a referee and as a coach. That's not as a coach, is to make people feel good.
Yeah. We're empowering.
And then as a referee, the way you show up, I'm telling you, those players know.
Yeah.
So like, just start there. Just start with like, okay, I'm ready. And like, yes, we're having a great time. Talk yourself into it if you have to.
Yeah, that's great advice. That's such great advice. You can't give what you don't have. If you are, wanting to be this empowering person, this excited person, this positive person, if you're not that inside, if you don't already have that, you got to work on that first.
Yeah.
You can't expect to go out and like give rays of sunshine if you are a dark, stormy cloud all of the time. And that's not bypassing the fact that we feel emotions,
1,000%.
but there are people who radiate light more than people who, sit in the darkness, and you can be that light person, which comes through,
education, like just educating,
putting the work in.
Putting the work in.
Oh, that was so sweet. If anyone wants to find you, we'll wrap it up here. How can they work with you, work for you, support you? Give us all the links.
Yes. Okay. So it's Instagram, Tamara, at Coach Tamara J. Follow Elements Athletics at Elements Athletics. If you search it, you'll find it. It's fine. Maybe we'll put links in there. I don't know.
I'll put,
But yeah, TamaraJTraining.com. We can come look at the team. Just type Tamara Jarrett, Calgary. You'll find it. Google, but TamaraJTraining.com and Elements Athletics. Follow us. And yeah,
that's it. Oh, I loved this conversation. This is so good. Thank you so much, Tamara.
Thanks for having me. Like, this is so great. Like, the vibes, the lighting. I love it.
It's all about the vibes.
Yes. I'm literally, I can't remember what my boyfriend said the other day, but I'm like, I don't know about this, but I like the vibes. And now I'm like, about the person. Like, that's my first. Yeah. My first. Oh, and actually was a business meeting. My partner, my business partner. And I'm like, I'm not the tech person.
Yeah.
But I tell him, I'm like, I'm the operation side, so I was like, ooh, this person, I like their vibe.
Yeah.
So it's
about the vibes. I love it. Oh, so sweet. Okay, peace.